Hey, Sip and Talkers, welcome back. It's Joe here with the amazing Sunny. How are you, Sunny?
Hey, Joe. Doing pretty good. Just trying to survive out here. I swear, everything is
I know.
Getting more expensive, like every minute. Did you see that they're charging for coffee these days?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I spent like half my paycheck at the gas station last week. It's crazy. It's like our money is shrinking or something.
Isn't it, though?
You won't believe this listener question we got, okay? Someone wrote in and said, are we getting poorer?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, a lot of people are probably thinking that these days.
Yeah, so we did a deep dive into this whole getting poorer thing. And you won't believe where our research led us. The Big Mac Index.
Yeah, you heard that right, folks. Burgers and economics today. Those Big Macs can tell us a lot about global inflation.
So before we get too deep in the ketchup and pickles, we are not economists, okay?
Yeah.
We're just two average Joes.
Exactly.
Trying to make sense of the world.
That's what makes it fun, right?
Exactly.
We're learning right alongside you guys.
Yeah. All right. So let's get this burger party started. What is this Big Mac Index anyway? How can a burger tell us about the economy?
Okay, so back in 1986, these brilliant folks over at The Economist magazine, right? They were like, hey, what if we compare the price of Big Macs around the world? Maybe it can tell us something about how these different currencies stack up.
So they literally just looked at how much a Big Mac cost in different countries.
Yeah, simple. It's pretty much the same everywhere you go, right? Same ingredients, same size, same process. It's like the standardized economic measuring stick.
Got it.
Wrapped in a sesame seed bun.
Okay, so by comparing those Big Mac prices, we're comparing what our money can actually buy, not just the exchange rate, but what you can actually get.
Exactly. It's a peek into this concept called purchasing power parity, or PPP.
Ooh, fancy.
For those who like the acronyms, if a Big Mac costs a lot more in one country than another, it could mean that their currency is overvalued or their cost of living is just higher.
Okay, that makes sense. And this whole Big Mac Index thing isn't just economic trivia, right? It's about this global inflation monster that's been eating away at our wallets.
Inflation's been the uninvited guest at every dinner party lately. And so many things are driving up prices around the world. You got supply chain issues from that pandemic. It's still messing things up.
Yeah.
Energy and food costs.
And then the war in Ukraine, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just another wrench in the works, right?
Yeah, especially energy markets and global food.
It's a domino effect.
It is. And let's not forget rising labor costs. People need higher wages to keep up with these prices, but then those higher wages lead to businesses raising prices even more. It's this
vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle, yeah.
Running on that economic treadmill going nowhere.
Tell me about it. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's get back to the burgers. What can they tell us about these price trends?
All right, burger breakdown time. Back in 2010, a Big Mac in the U.S. cost about $4.
Yeah.
Not bad, right?
Those were the days. But fast forward to today, and that same Big Mac is almost $6. Like 5.69. Burger inflation, folks. Averaging around 2-3% per year.
Ouch. That's actually higher than the official inflation rate, measured by something called the Consumer Price Index, CPI.
So the burgers are telling us that things might be even pricier than those official numbers say.
That's crazy. What about in other parts of the world? Like China?
Yeah, China.
What's happening over there?
Yeah.
Hold on to your chopsticks, because in China, a Big Mac has gone from like 15 yuan in 2010 to 24.4 yuan today.
Whoa.
Big jump.
Yeah, that's a big jump. What's that translate to in terms of annual inflation?
We're looking at a 3-4% yearly increase. So they're facing even more intense inflationary pressure than us here in the U.S.
Wow. It's amazing what this burger can reveal, right? Makes you wonder, how much has your local Big Mac changed over the years? Think about it. It's food for thought, literally.
Okay, so Big Macs are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
But why should we care? Is it really such a big deal if our burger costs a little more?
That's a great question, Joe. And it gets to the heart of why inflation is such a tricky thing. It's not just about those rising prices. It's about how those prices affect different people.
Ooh, get a little concerning.
Yeah. Remember purchasing power?
Yeah.
Let's dig into that. In the U.S., if you're making minimum wage, you can buy roughly 2 Big Macs per hour. Not great, but it's something.
Right, but in China, someone working for minimum wage, say in Shanghai, can only afford about 1 Big Mac per hour.
Yeah, and that's a red flag. It highlights how inflation hits those who are already struggling. When the cost of food keeps climbing, it eats up more of their income.
It's like those rising prices are taking a bigger bite out of their burger.
Exactly. And this Big Mac index, it's not just showing inequalities, it's showing us the flaws in how we measure inflation in the first place.
Those official inflation numbers,
Yeah.
CPI and all that.
Yep. Sometimes the Big Mac tells a different story.
Right.
Remember 2021 when CPI shot up like 8.5%?
Crazy.
Crazy. Big Mac prices only rose by like 4.5%.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Well, maybe the Big Mac price is what economists call sticky. It doesn't react as quickly to market changes as other goods and services. So while CPI might be showing those crazy swings in energy and housing, the Big Mac is lagging behind.
So the Big Mac is like the slow poke in the inflation race.
Kinda.
Yeah.
The point is, relying on just one measure of inflation can be misleading. It's like trying to understand a whole symphony by listening to one instrument.
You need the whole orchestra.
You need that full picture.
And speaking of the whole picture, get this. The Big Mac Index has even exposed attempts to, manipulate data.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that situation in Argentina a few years back?
Yeah, when they tried to cook the books.
Yeah. Apparently they wanted to make their inflation look better than it was, so they tried to control Big Mac prices, like it's a spy movie or something.
It really shows you how tricky things can get with this economic data. Sometimes you need a burger to sniff out the truth.
All right, folks, we've covered a lot of ground here in this burger-fueled deep dive. Learned about the Big Mac Index, how it works, what it tells us, but we're just getting started.
There's more to unpack. More insights and economic mysteries to solve. So grab a sip, get comfy, and stay tuned for part 2. Okay, Joe, ready for round 2 of this whole burgernomics thing?
All right, let's do it. We were going to dive into some of the bigger worries this Big Mac Index is showing us.
Okay, besides the fact that a burger and fries now cost like an arm and a leg, seriously, sometimes I feel like I need a side hustle just to afford my lunch break.
Uh-huh. No kidding. But for real, there's deeper stuff here. One of the things that really stood out to me was how the Big Mac Index shows that globalization isn't a magic solution to even out prices.
Yeah, you'd think with a product like the Big Mac, same everywhere, right? Prices would be pretty consistent globally, but no, local factors still matter so much.
Yeah, it's like when you travel to another country and you're like, whoa, how is this so cheap? Or how is this so expensive? I remember when I went to Europe, a cup of coffee was like $5.
Oh yeah, take Switzerland. A Big Mac there is over $6, 6.71 to be exact. And it's not because they're adding fancy Swiss cheese or something. It's because their currency is strong and labor costs are high.
Right. And then you've got a country like Venezuela, where a Big Mac is like 1.76 USD. But that's not because they found some secret source of cheap beef. It's because their economy is dealing with hyperinflation, and their currency has, crashed.
Crazy how one burger can show such different economic realities. Globalization might connect us in some ways, but it doesn't erase those differences in how countries operate.
Yeah, that's like we're all playing the same game, but with totally different rules.
Okay, so unequal impacts, data manipulation, globalization's limits. What else is making you make that I need another sip of coffee face?
Okay, here's the big one, the one that keeps me up at night. What if this inflation isn't just temporary?
Whoa, you think it could be, permanent?
I know. Scary thought, right? But all this stuff that started with pandemic disruptions and supply chains could become a long-term thing. So explain this to me. Why are we worried about inflation sticking around for good?
Well, look at the things that are driving up prices right now. Climate change is affecting food production and costs, right? And all this geopolitical instability like the war in Ukraine is impacting energy prices. These things aren't going to just vanish overnight.
So, if the price of oil stays super high for years, Big Macs get more expensive. And it's not just burgers. It pushes up the cost of everything. Transportation, manufacturing, you name it.
Exactly. It's like this ripple effect that spreads through the whole economy.
Yikes. Okay, so what else have our researchers dug up? Any other red flags waving from the land of burgers?
Oh, definitely a few more nuggets here. For one, did you know that in Japan, the affordability of a Big Mac has actually gone down over the past 5 years?
Wait, even in Japan, with their super stable economy, how is that possible?
Well, their wages haven't been going up as fast as Big Mac prices have been. Wages have grown about 11% over the last 5 years. But Big Mac prices, those have jumped 23%. So even though people are technically earning more, they're able to buy fewer burgers now.
Wow, that's a clear sign that their buying power is shrinking.
It's a good reminder that inflation can mess with your buying power, even if your income is technically going up.
It's like that economic treadmill again. You're moving but not really getting anywhere.
Exactly. Oh, and here's another interesting thing. In Taiwan, the minimum wage only buys you about 1.15 Big Macs per hour.
Seriously. That's barely more than a single burger. I thought Taiwan had a pretty low cost of living compared to, like, other developed countries.
We do. But it shows that even in places with lower costs overall, wages, especially for those at the lower end, they're not always keeping pace with inflation.
It's like this whole Big Mac index is peeling back the layers of the global economy and showing us how complicated it really is.
Yeah, it reminds us that economics isn't just numbers and graphs, right? It's about people. Real people making real choices, and how those choices are affected by things beyond our control.
It's about whether or not we can afford a darn burger.
Haha, exactly. But you know what? As we've been talking about all these problems and worries, I've been thinking, could this Big Mac index be more than just a way to measure how bad things are? Could it be a tool for making things better?
Okay, now you've got me curious. Tell me more.
Well, we talked about how the Big Mac index shows us the inequalities, right?
Yeah.
And how inflation hits some people harder than others. What if we use this information to push for better policies?
Like using the Big Mac index to argue for better wages.
Exactly. What if we use it to push for livable wages, especially in those places where folks are struggling to even buy a basic burger?
Instead of just using it to measure how bad things are, use it to push for solutions. I like that.
Right. It could start conversations about economic justice and make sure that everyone at least has a chance to, well, enjoy a burger every now and then.
I love that. Who knew a burger could be so powerful? Okay, folks, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into burgernomics.
We've dissected the Big Mac, crunched the numbers, and hopefully served up some food for thought. But this is really just the beginning.
We explored the Big Mac index.
Yeah.
Uncovered some economic truths, and maybe even sparked some ideas for how to make things better.
And remember, we're not economists, okay? Yeah. Just two regular people who happen to love burgers.
Exactly. But hopefully this deep dive has given you a new perspective to think about next time you're looking at those golden arches.
It's amazing what you can learn from a burger.
Speaking of exploring the world, Sunny, I hear you've got some exciting news about our friends over at Mickeytolife.
Oh, yes. Guys, if you're looking for adventure, travel tips, incredible food, and some top-notch whiskey reviews, you need to check out Mickeytolife on YouTube. Those guys are amazing.
Seriously, their videos are so fun. They've got this energy, you know, makes you feel like you're right there on the adventure with them.
And they're always sharing these hidden gems and places you won't find in a typical guidebook.
So go show them some love, okay? Search Mickeytolife on YouTube and tell them Joe and Sunny sent you. You won't regret it.
And until next time, Sip&Talkers, keep those minds curious, those glasses full, and those burgers affordable.
You know how much we love our burger index?
Oh, we do.
But we got to take a break from the burgers this time and dive into something
different.
Even juicier. Your comments and questions.
I always love hearing from the listeners.
It's our monthly fan mail extravaganza. You guys sent in so many awesome questions and comments this month.
Yeah, this mailbag is overflowing.
Overflowing. Okay, before we dive in, I got to give a shout out to a couple of usernames.
Okay.
Just amazing.
So name me.
Satnapilitan and Satoni. Those are fantastic. You win the internet for today.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this month, we've got people talking about AI and emotions.
Yeah.
The simulation hypothesis.
Big question.
Someone wants to know about Taiwan's tech scene.
Nice.
And we've even got some travel dreams sprinkled in there.
Love it.
All right, let's kick things off with Skyer99's question.
Okay.
They asked if AI develops emotions, would it still be considered AI? Or would it be something else entirely?
That's deep, man.
That is deep.
Where do we even draw the line, right?
Right.
If something can feel and react just like we do,
yeah,
does that automatically mean it's not artificial anymore?
Whoa.
It really makes you think about what it even means to be sentient or conscious.
Exactly. Like what makes us us.
Yeah.
Oh, and Novabite brought up Descartes.
Descartes.
Ouch, my brain.
Yeah.
The mind-body problem. Remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
Classic philosophy.
Headache-inducing.
Right. So Novabite is saying if our consciousness is just a result of all these complex interactions in our brains, couldn't the same thing happen in a really advanced AI?
That's a really interesting point.
Right.
What if emotions just kind of emerge from all that complexity, even if they weren't programmed? Like emergent properties, you know? Kind of like how individual ants are pretty simple.
Right.
But as a colony, they can do some pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe consciousness is kind of like that too.
That's kind of terrifying, but also super cool.
I know, right?
And then AJ Driftsoul brings up another really interesting point.
Yeah.
Are we letting our fear of AI become a bigger problem than AI itself?
Whoa, that's deep.
I know.
That's a great point.
Because
it's easy to get caught up in the what ifs.
Yeah.
You know, all those sci-fi movies about robots taking over?
Oh, totally.
Like Terminator, The Matrix.
Right. Yeah.
It makes you think twice about AI in the real world.
Totally.
It makes you wonder, you know, maybe our perceptions and anxieties about AI are actually shaping how that technology develops.
Ooh, okay. Speaking of spooky.
Ooh.
Let's talk about the simulation hypothesis.
Let's do it.
That our last discussion on that gave them goosebumps. Mine too.
It's a wild one, right?
I know.
Thinking that our reality might actually be a sophisticated computer program, it's enough to make anyone question everything.
I know. Sometimes I'm just like, is this real life? Or is this just fantasy?
Uh-huh.
But then I remember I have to take the dog for a walk.
Right.
And that feels pretty real.
Yeah, that'll ground you.
It does. Okay, back down to earth for a minute.
Okay.
Let's talk money.
Let's talk money.
Pixel Raven wants to know which single ETF we'd recommend for a long-term investment.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But full disclosure, everyone.
Yes.
We are not financial advisors.
Definitely not.
So do not sue us.
Please don't.
Please don't.
We're just having fun here.
We are.
But Pixel Raven is thinking smart, though.
Yeah.
Focusing on the long term is key.
Right.
It's not about getting rich quick.
Right.
It's about building a solid foundation for your financial future.
Yeah.
Diversifying your portfolio, understanding your risk tolerance.
Absolutely.
That's what's really important.
Right. Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
Unless you're talking about self-driving cars.
Oh, there they are again.
Which brings us to Tony's comment.
Ari.
Art Dark Stock God.
Love that name.
Is worried about a potential tech bubble.
Oh, is he now?
He is.
Well, it's a valid concern.
Right.
The tech industry moves so fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does feel like things are getting ahead of themselves. You know, all that rapid growth is exciting.
Yeah.
Leads to incredible innovations.
It does.
It also comes with risks.
Totally.
Got to be careful.
Okay, switching gears to something
Okay.
a little closer to my heart.
Ooh, tell me.
J. Ko wants to know more about Taiwan's role in the world of AI and semiconductors.
Okay.
And let me tell you, Taiwan's tech scene is mind-blowing.
It really is.
They're doing some amazing things over there.
Leading the way in a lot of areas.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with companies like TSMC.
Yeah.
They're basically the backbone of the global chip manufacturing industry.
It's incredible.
It's not an exaggeration to say that Taiwan is shaping the future of technology.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And speaking of Taiwan, the NSC is dreaming of visiting.
Nice.
And honestly, same. The food, the culture, the night markets.
The night markets.
It's all incredible.
I hear the night markets are an absolute must-see.
They are.
The energy, the food stalls, the people.
It's amazing.
It's like stepping into another world.
And Taiwan does such a good job of blending their traditional culture with cutting-edge technology.
Absolutely.
It's really unique.
It's a special place.
Okay, now let's talk about the future of entertainment.
Oh,
Eason dropped this bomb on us.
Okay.
AI-generated superstars.
Oh.
Picture this. Virtual idols rocking the stage, performing music written by algorithms. Is this the next level of stardom?
That's a wild thought, right? I mean, we've already got virtual influencer YouTubers.
Yeah.
So are AI-powered pop stars really that far off?
Right.
It makes you think about creativity, though. Like, what does it mean for art if a human isn't really behind it?
Whoa. Deep questions, Eason. Deep questions.
Yeah.
And a huge shout out to Old Chill for the suggestion to delve into the world of psychedelic mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. Old Chill.
Maybe we'll save that for a future episode when we're feeling extra adventurous.
Yeah. That's a good one for a late night deep dive.
Definitely.
But their comment does make me think about imagination.
Oh, yeah.
The power of human imagination. It's what drives us to explore new things.
Yeah.
To create, to push the boundaries of what's possible.
Totally. Okay, everyone, thanks again for all the fantastic questions and comments.
This was fun.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming.
And keep the conversation going on social media. We love hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. It's always inspiring to see how engaged and curious our listeners are.
Yeah, thanks for being part of the Deep Dive community.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
And before we sign off, a quick shout out to our buddy Micky's YouTube channel.
Ooh, Mickey to Life.
Micky to Life. If you're looking for travel adventures, whiskey tastings, and just some good vibes, you got to check it out.
He's a fun guy.
He is.
Definitely worth a subscribe.
Okay, folks, until next time, keep those minds open and stay curious.
Stay curious.